The moment the ozone layer disappears, life becomes unbearable on Earth. The sunlight feels different, not warmer, sharper. Within minutes, skin begins to burn, not hours, minutes. People run through the streets, some pour water over themselves, thinking it will cool the heat, but this isn't heat. Others rush indoors, slamming doors and windows shut, but glass won't save them. The sky hasn't changed color, it's still blue. And that's the terrifying part, because this isn't the end of the world from an explosion, it's the end of the world from sunlight. And that's just the first 24 hours. High above your head, about 10 to 35 kilometers above Earth, sits an invisible shield in the stratosphere, the ozone layer. It absorbs most of the sun's harmful ultraviolet radiation, especially UVB and UVC rays. Without it, those rays hit Earth unfiltered. UV radiation doesn't just tan your skin, it damages DNA. It destroys cells. It breaks down life at the molecular level. The ozone layer isn't just part of the atmosphere, it's the difference between a livable planet and a sterilized one. So what happens first? Within minutes of full exposure, severe sunburn begins, not the kind you get at the beach, blistering burns. Eyes become painfully sensitive. Looking outside feels like staring into a welding torch. Photokeratitis spreads, temporary blindness caused by UV damage to the cornea. Hospitals overflow within hours. Outdoor workers collapse first. Air conditioning systems overload as people try to hide from the radiation indoors. But here's the problem. Water doesn't block ultraviolet radiation. Regular glass doesn't block it completely either. Even sitting near a window becomes dangerous. Sunscreen helps, but only briefly, and supplies run out fast. Governments issue emergency warnings. Stay inside. But inside isn't truly safe. And humans? We're not even the biggest problem. Plants cannot run indoors. Within days, leaf tissue begins to bleach and die. Photosynthesis, the process that converts sunlight into energy, becomes disrupted. Crops begin failing almost immediately. Wheat, corn, rice, global staples start collapsing. And then there's the ocean. Tiny organisms called phytoplankton float near the surface. They are microscopic, but they form the base of the marine food chain, and they produce a massive portion of the oxygen you breathe. Unfiltered UV radiation penetrates the upper ocean layers. Phytoplankton populations crash. When the oceans stop breathing, the planet follows. By the end of the first week, food panic begins. Farmers report widespread crop damage. Livestock suffer skin lesions and eye injuries. Supermarkets empty in hours. Supply chains strain under global demand. Countries begin restricting exports. Borders tighten. Markets crash. This isn't just an environmental disaster anymore. It's economic collapse. Civil unrest begins in vulnerable regions, and all of this is happening before the climate starts changing. The ozone layer doesn't just block radiation, it helps regulate temperature in the stratosphere. Without it, the upper atmosphere cools dramatically. That shift disrupts jet streams. Weather patterns become unstable. Some regions experience temperature swings. Others see intensified droughts. Wildfires increase under relentless UV exposure and heat stress. Ecosystems that were already fragile begin tipping over the edge. Coral reefs bleach faster. Amphibians, highly sensitive to UV radiation, begin disappearing. This isn't one catastrophe, it's thousands happening at once. Within a month, extinction events accelerate. Insects decline rapidly, and without insects, pollination collapses. Without pollination, agriculture worsens. Marine food webs unravel from the bottom up. Fish populations drop as their food supply vanishes. Bird species decline. Predators starve. The collapse spreads like falling dominoes across every ecosystem on Earth. Life evolved under the protection of ozone. Remove it, and evolution doesn't have time to adapt. This wouldn't be slow, it would be shockingly fast. Could humanity survive? Possibly, but only in controlled environments. Underground shelters, UV-shielded structures, artificial agriculture using protected greenhouses, hydroponic systems, rationed food. But survival would depend on technology, on wealth, on coordination, and on time, which we wouldn't have much of. The majority of life on Earth wouldn't be so lucky. Here's the part that matters. This almost happened. In the 1980s, scientists discovered a massive thinning of the ozone layer, the ozone hole. It was caused by chemicals called CFCs. The world responded. In 1987, nations signed the Montreal Protocol, phasing out those chemicals globally. And because of that, the ozone layer is slowly healing. Right now, as you stand under the sun, an invisible shield is protecting every cell in your body. You don't see it, you don't feel it, but without it, the sky itself would turn against us. And that might be the most important shield Earth has ever had. If you enjoy exploring the fragile systems that keep our planet alive and the science that protects us, consider subscribing. Not out of fear, but out of curiosity. Because the more we understand our world, the better we can protect it. I'll see you in the next one.